Whew, okay, we are not only testing the new audio stuff that I got for Christmas, including this new pretty Yeti microphone, but I wanted to end off the year with one of these mental health vlogs because it is important to me to talk about the things that directly impact and affect my life and probably a lot of other people's lives. And it's not easy because like a lot of people who go through not only seasonal sads but legitimately navigate a life with these issues, there are times where I just don't want to deal with things. I don't want to do it. I don't want to be bothered and I just shut down, and I think it is okay. I think we humans beat ourselves up when we get to that breaking point because we think, oh, you're supposed to push past, you're supposed to just keep going. But your mind and body set these limits to protect you. And when you get to a point where you feel low or you feel in pain, you need to listen to your body's cues to rest and distance yourself from especially stressful things. One of the things that I, like many other humans, do is that daily log in to the internet, looking at social media, seeing who's fighting with one another. That toxic intake builds up in your system and it doesn't produce good results. And I'm not saying there aren't good things on the internet. That's a reason why a lot of us still gravitate to the internet. Connecting, especially after the last 4 years, even, has been done digitally because honestly, it's safer with the way this world is sometimes. But the truth of the matter is, even the internet can be mentally taxing and exhausting. The attention can be both amazing and overwhelming. The feeling that you just can't do it is natural. And I feel like taking breaks is your way of not only replenishing and recouping yourself, but it's a necessary thing that a lot of us we just don't take seriously until it becomes out of our hands. And I just want people, especially those of us who struggle, to understand that you are not less than because you cannot continue on with something that harms you both mentally or physically. I think this whole year has been eye opening to me, not only on the things that I can do, but accepting when I can't do something. Accepting that doesn't make me less than to say, okay, I tried it, it's not for me. Or, okay, I tried it, I really want to be able to do this, but I literally cannot. I'm not less of a person. I'm going to keep practicing at certain things, but I am not here to just do this one thing. And I think the older I get, unfortunately, I'm still here, which coupled with everything that I struggle with, I feel lucky that I'm still here. I realize that instead of dwelling on things that I might have wanted to do in life, but just I'm not able to, I focus on what I am able to do and nurture and watch it grow. I have seen such amazing growth in this year alone. I have held on to not only hope, but I've pushed my abilities to both write and create to new places that I wouldn't have thought I could do years ago. I was always heavily influenced by what others thought of me. And a lot of people didn't think highly of me. I'm either to this or to that for them. But when I got away, when I broke away from that structure, from that need to be liked by everybody, to care what anybody but this person thinks, it really started to untether me from the things that were holding me back. Is it 100%? No. I still, even after releasing my book this year, went through all the self doubt, the self loathing, the fear of imposter syndrome weighed heavily on my mind because you are shaped by a society that doesn't value your voice in the first place. And I had to start realizing that I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm not putting my voice out there for everybody, but I do deserve to speak. And if you want to hear it, great. But I'm not forcing anybody to enjoy my work. I'm not forcing anybody to listen to the things I have to say. I am just speaking. I deserve to. And I want more people, but especially people who struggle to understand that you're not less than. And I know it can be hard. We tend to be the ones that think it the worst. We intake so much of internal and external fuckery. And it can be really hard to believe that you deserve to be here, that you deserve to be, but you do. And I think enough people need to understand that. Even when our minds aren't right. Because I feel like a lot, especially of what I struggle to, is a lot of product of both trauma and genetics. We just literally inherited a lot of the crazy stuff, and it's fine. It has guided me, it has kept me alive, it has helped me raise my child, it has helped me find a partner that not only accepts me, but is a complement to everything I do. And I feel like this year alone has taught me that me being here wasn't a mistake. It might be hard. There might still be days, and I'd like to be honest about that. There are still dark days. I took a few days away from social media and everything because I just couldn't take the stress or pressure anymore. And I didn't want to start leaning into that abyss that depression is. And I don't think people understand. Depression isn't just pain and darkness, it's sadness for some people. For some of us, that familiar comfort of everything is shitty and I feel shitty is something that a lot of people don't talk about with depression. That familiar comfort of sadness and bleakness that can sometimes feel like a comfortable envelope around you. I know that people won't think that makes sense because depression is normally packaged as a negative thing. But when the world around you is legitimately sick and decaying in front of you, yeah, it's natural to feel like, yeah, maybe being depressed was supposed to be the natural response to all of this. I think that it's a complex way of living that I wish more people would study. I wish more people would understand, but we don't understand what life is in the first freaking place. So I don't expect people to really want to learn what mental health is. I think by speaking up and putting the human face to it without antics, I hope to help those who are struggling, who feel unseen. I want people to understand that even with what I have, my actions are still mine. I don't want to utilize my illness as an excuse for my behaviors. And I feel like a lot of people do that. It really troubles me when the talks of mental health come up after a school shooting or mass shooting or some racist granny on a TikTok video getting cussed out because she's yelling at somebody racially or just mental health is not an excuse for bad behavior. And I'm not saying that people with mental health issues can't have those other personality traits. I'm just saying that if we start making the conversation about mental health only when these antics happen, that's all you're going to associate my identity in life with. And I don't want that. I have fought for, struggled to get the peace that I have now. I suffered with partners that not only devalued but harmed me because I thought that was what I deserved. I went through periods of thinking I just needed to be completely by myself because I couldn't trust anybody. And when you live that kind of existence, you build this wall of comfort, this wall of comfortable blankets of despair, and you just exist. But it's not really living. And I started little by little living, and it's not always easy. Sometimes it's a bit painful. Sometimes I wonder if I'm really meant to be doing this. And I realize that, yeah, I am. That's the hardest part of all of this is that constant struggle, that constant question. And getting help is so important with this, but it isn't easy. I hate when people tell somebody who is struggling mentally, oh, you should just get help. Okay, even ignoring the obvious financial aspects because we still live in a country where everything is costly, but especially health problems. Just finding somebody that not only listens but talks to you as a human being is so vital to us to take the stuff that we say seriously, that don't treat us like we're things. That's something that I feel like a lot of people don't understand about the struggle with mental health. That dehumanizing aspect that people place upon us as if it's just a choice, as if we can just turn the trait off at any time. That we just utilize it for when we want to act out, when a lot of us don't act out in front of you. One of the things people say to me all the time, either when they are around me or they listen to me or they're on my Twitter, and you don't come across. You don't know anybody with this. A lot of us, we live in silence because of the stigma of mental health that is prevalent, because of the way we're portrayed in movies. I'm not acting like I'm not a violent person when I have to be. I have worked hard to get away from those aspects of myself. That aspect of my youth that used to love to fight and get in the conflict and watch and start conflict. I had to get away from that. That's why I see it so clearly down online. I know it feels like I shouldn't call out people who like to just stir the plot and stir shit because who am I? I just don't want to be drawn into their bullshit because I've seen them. I've lived that life. It's not fun. I've lost people that I thought were real friends behind just being blunt about it now. If you're a shit stirrer, be that way, fine, but it doesn't interest me to have you in my circle if that's how you get your jollies. That was one of the toughest things of 2022 because I had to start setting those hard boundaries with people, even the people that I used to respect, even the people that I used to like, because there were far too many people fully invested in creating stressful situations where there are none, getting into fights with everybody because that's how they get their jollies. Making excuses that they're doing it for the ancestors was one of the things that really set me off because our ancestors aren't thinking about that. Our ancestors were just too busy trying to survive, which is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be surviving, living, thriving, being, because apparently our continued existence is a thorn in the sides of people who that their only existence seems to be making other people miserable. I just refuse. I refuse to play these games because it's my life. And once you start to realize that it is your life, it really opens up so many doors. It opens up so many amazing things. And I'm going to brag again because, like I said, this didn't come slowly. This was 10 years of writing, revising, piecing together an idea and a concept that I had for a sci fi novel. And I gave pieces of my story to a friend who he designed the initial cover. And then he went back and said, no, I can do better, Tim. He gave me this. And together with my partner, I was able to put together a full story. And I'm working on the second one. It's not going to hopefully take as long as this one took. This was a culmination of so many ideas that I nurtured over time. So many ideas from both my spiritual, mental, and just living this life. So many things I've taken from both historical context, so many things that I've taken from just existing and what to me it means to exist and why technology more than likely will be humans' path to continuing on. But it has to be done right. It can be done completely wrong, but it can be done right. And I do believe in that. I feel like 2022 was just a crazy year, though. This year went so incredibly fast. It feels like I blinked and it was over. And I'm going to do a retrospect later on tonight on the Bonnet Chronicles, bringing up some key points that happened. Because to me, it feels like it happened in such a whirlwind that we might have missed a lot of stuff. But I definitely wanted to do one more mental health vlog before I take a few days to just recuperate. I think, honestly speaking, I don't feel guilty for wanting time to just calm down. The holidays were good. It was weird having yet again my partner here because for the longest time it was just Kiddo and I liked it that way for the longest time. I needed time to just be, and now having him here is been an adjustment, but a good adjustment. It feels good to smile and really feel like smiling. And I know I don't always translate it. One of the things I tell people about my illness is I don't feel my expressions a lot of times unless I am physically making myself do it. A lot of times, my flat expression is just my face. And when I take a picture and people are like, you should have smiled in that picture, thought I was. I am sorry, that is just the way my personality is. And people around me have come to understand it. But there's always a new person that becomes my friend that thinks, oh, Tim's pissed at me, or, oh, did I upset you? And it's always a work to try to explain to them my ways. So it helps to find people that just understand what flat expression is, what mental health is. And I feel like I am slowly surrounding myself with those type of people, and it makes it a lot easier to talk and express myself. Now, I don't know what next year is going to bring. Hopefully more of my work will be finished and put out there to the world, but there's just so much that I want to do, especially with these vlogs. And like I said in the previous ones, I need to be careful because even though I am sharing my story when I talk about even my past, I don't want to bring in people who I don't want to give them power over my life. And I feel like when I dwell on the things they did to me, it shows them that they still have that hold and they really don't. They used to. I'll be 100% honest. I held on to so many grudges, and there are at least two people on this earth that will probably have a forever grudge from me just because. But I don't want to keep giving them that power. They already have enough room in my head, and that's stressful enough. I don't want to keep allowing them to influence everything I do when I have so much good coming on the horizon. But I'm going to get ready to wrap this up. I thank everybody who tunes into these. I thank everybody who shared these. Everybody who's been a part of my life, especially these last few years. You've seen so much change happen in my life. You have seen me go from being alone and trying to figure stuff out to really figuring out my path and finding my voice. So I thank every single person that has been a part of this and everybody who continues to find this channel, find my Twitter. Just, I think we can form a collective of beings that just not only support each other, but listen to each other, talk to each other, see each other. And it just amazes me, and I'm excited for so many things. But I'm gonna get ready to wrap this up because, like I said, I'm gonna get back to doing the research for tonight and just relax because I deserve to. And I think if you're listening to this you deserve to too. Don't ever let anybody push you into pushing past your limits if that's not what you want to do. But till next year, I hope you have a good one. I really will hopefully see you soon.